Welcome to episode 95 of the Epilogue Lady podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. There is also a group on Ravelry for this podcast, the Arctic Crafts group, where you can participate in make-alongs and the occasional giveaway. And I also have a Ko-fi page where you can choose between donating a one-time amount or you can subscribe on a monthly basis. I'm planning on making tiers and stuff on Ko-fi, but I haven't gotten that far because life has been crazy. I think that's it for the intro. You would think I would know this by heart by now, but every time I feel like I forgot something. Speaking of life stuff, as I said, life has been crazy. There's been a lot happening, but not a lot of it has anything to do with fiber or crafts or yarn dyeing or knitting or anything like that. I can talk a bit about it maybe at the end in life stuff. I want to start by addressing the fact that I'm now sitting in a different direction again. The same table, only I'm facing the windows. And as you can see behind me, the sun is shining and it's a bit tricky recording early in the day because the sun is coming in from that side of the house, straight in my face. At some point I have to move at the back end of the living room when I'm recording. I have to record early in the day because hubby has a shorter day on Fridays and we have stuff to do when he gets back. So I have to get this recorded and edited early in the day. Yes, and we'll have some live stuff at the end. We'll just start talking about knitting because I have a bit of knitting to talk about this time. I also have some show and tell, so let's just get started. First things first, I decided to wear a tee today as well because the tea time mal is running. This is the Rocket Tee by Tanis Lavallee. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. And it's knit in Arctic Crafts 100% fine merino fingering and Cerise Silk Cloud in the colorway Mountain Stream. As you can tell, I chose to do it in the same colorway, so you can tell that it's striped, but it's not that in your face, if you know what I mean. It looks like it's solid from a distance, and it's really warm because of the alpaca, so I struggle wearing it in summer, but in spring it works. And because the sun is coming in through the windows, it's really warm in here. So the AC we have started running the AC. Hopefully it's not too loud. I put the fan on the lowest setting, but I couldn't turn it off because then I wouldn't be able to wear knits at all. And after all, this is a knitting podcast. So that's what I'm wearing. And then we can start looking at FOs. I have 3 FOs, but one of them I can't show you because I have delivered it. I knit a sample for the local yarn store, and it's been delivered to the store, and it was a baby jacket. And so that's one of my FOs. I didn't even take a picture of it before I got rid of it. So sorry, I'll put up a picture of the pattern and the project photo I took for Instagram. I'll put in a picture so you at least can see what the jacket looked like. And my other FOs are 2 pairs of socks. These you have seen before. as a work in progress. It's by Stone Knits, and it's called Herding Cats. And the yarn is Arctic Crafts Corriedale Sock in Lady Marmalade. And the cats, the contrast color is Hobby Happy Sheep Magic Wool sock yarn. And so these are finished, and now I can start wearing them because I've shown them to you. Stone Knits turned out to be a rabbit hole. I love a lot of her patterns, and I came across her book in a Norwegian online bookstore. So that's on its way to me now. So I might keep on knitting Stone Knits socks. I'm calling this an FO, even though I haven't woven in the ends yet. These are the Cosmic Flow socks. And the black is a commercial sock yarn. I think it's Fabel from Drops. The contrast, I have no idea. It was a leftover hand-dyed in my leftover stash. So I have no idea who the dyer is. So sorry about that. But again, these are the Cosmic Flow socks. And those are my FOs. That's it for FOs. But then I have quite a few whips. And the first whip I'm showing you is another Stone Knits. She had a pattern called the Sassy Cat socks, and those were, there was a black cat on those, and I have a black cat. And speaking of which, I think there's some black cat hairs on this bag. And this beautiful bag from Marie Celeste Stitches was part of a mystery grab bag that I ordered from Nora George Yarns. And the rest of the mystery grab bag I will show you in show and tell, but this was part of that mystery grab bag, and I really love it. It's springy colors, pastel pinks, so it's so perfect, and it's big enough for a 2-skein shawl maybe, but I'm using it for my Stone Knits socks. And this is the Sassy Cat socks. So the main color is from Garnbutikken Fortuna, a Norwegian hand dyer and yarn store, and it's called Plommetre. I got 2 skeins of this as a gift from my bestie Trine, and because I had the 2 skeins, I've started 3 different projects, I think, that called for 2 skeins, and I frogged all 3 of them because I didn't like it. So I sort of asked Trine permission, can I please use this sweater quantity for socks? I still have a full skein left, so I can use for a 1-skein shawl or something. But anyways, this is Garnbutikken Fortuna, colorway Plommetre. This contrast color, I'm not sure, but I think it's a Nora George, and I think it's called Sweet Pea. It was a leftover, and I'm not sure. And the black is the same as in the Cosmic Flow. It's Fabel from Drops. And the eyes, I put those in with duplicate stitching afterwards, after I finished the pattern, because I didn't want to knit with 3 different colors if I could avoid it. And there wasn't a lot of, you just have to make sure that your floats in the duplicate stitches are as stretchy as the rest of the pattern. I've knit these in the smallest size because that was 64 stitches. So there's 64 stitches here, and you increase for the pattern, and in addition to that, I've knit the pattern with 2.5 millimeter needles to make it as wide as the rest of the sock. I think it's too wide. So I maybe should have just increased and kept going with the 2.25 or not increase at all. I tried that first, but the pattern didn't work with 64 stitches. So maybe I should just have kept going with the 2.25 because my gauge doesn't change that much when I knit stranded. But it's not going to show. So I just do the second sock. I had to do the second sock the exact same way. So, and again, I'm going to do a lot more stone knit socks this summer. And the Arctic Summer of Socks will be starting June 1st. So I'll just keep on knitting socks through the summer, I think. And speaking of make-alongs, the Tea Time make-along, it started March 1st and it's going to run until May 31st. And it's for any sleeveless or short-sleeved sweater. And whips are allowed. If you started it before March 1st, you can enter it. And there's one thread in Ravelry for both chat and finished objects. But if I pull your comment when I'm drawing the prices and there's not a finished object picture in it, I'll jump to the next number. I'll be giving out a pattern price for the first comment I pick. So just to give you sort of a reward if you're active in the thread, because it's always fun when people are active. And I forgot to tell you, the stitch marker on this, the Progress Keeper, is from my shop. I think I have more left of this grey cat in the shop. So that was my sassy cat socks. I have one work in progress that I'm not showing you, the Look Squirrel, the cardigan by Casapinka, because I haven't worked on that since I showed you last. But I have one more pair of socks I'm working on. I have one sock finished. And then I pass the heel on the second sock. And these are just my normal vanilla sock recipe. 64 stitches and short row heel, German short row heel. So that's just my normal recipe. And the yarn is by Asfaltsflickan. And it's sparkly and self-striping. What's not to love? So this is sort of my in-between knitting. TV knitting, car knitting. So I work on it from time to time, and I had been working on it since I showed you last, so that's why I'm showing you today. And then my last two works in progress are sweaters. One is I have two projects that I'm going to try to finish while the Tea Time Mal is running. And the first is a sweater I'm knitting for Sue, my bestie in Canada. I dyed up the yarn especially. It's a green because Sue loves green, and this is two of my normal green colorways dyed on top of each other. I started with guacamole and I overdyed guacamole with Arctic pine, and this is the result. And I have two skeins. Hopefully it's enough because I have a third skein I can break into if I need to. I dyed up 3 just in case, even though this is a 2-skein project, because she wants her to be longer than the one I knit for myself. So that's why I dyed up 3 skeins to make sure I had enough yarn. So this is how far I've gotten. I'm on the lace pattern, and it's not moving along too fast because I have started another sweater that I'm working on more. I'll show you in a minute. And the Progress Keeper on this is part of a prize from the Knitted Bean. And because it's green and it really looked good on this sweater. That's what I'm using. I'm a bit weird like that. I want my progress keeper to match the project. So this is the Salty Air Tea by Samantha, Guerin. Sorry about that. I'm a bit sniffly. It's typical for this time of year because suddenly it's warm and the snow is melting and it feels like spring, and suddenly we have winter again. So that's why I'm a bit... I'll try not to make too much weird noises. So that's one of my sweater whips. And the other sweater whip, the reason why I'm working on that, mostly on this, is because it's in a worsted. And maybe if I finish this fast, I get to wear it before spring really sets in, because worsted sweaters and me, this is something I'm going to wear instead of a jacket, I think. And you start with the sleeves on this one. And this is the Loon Pullover by Whitney Hayward. The design was made for piece fleece. And I have 2 sleeves done. And I've kept them on the needles because I'm now knitting the body, and when I have finished the body, I'm going to put everything on one needle and start working raglan decreases. And this is how far I've gotten on the body. I'll put up a picture so you can see what the sweater looks like. And the reason why I haven't gotten further is because I ran out of yarn. I bought this yarn in the local yarn store, and she has this wonderful arrangement that when you can just pick out the sweater quantity, so you can make sure you have the same dye lot for everything, and then she puts it away for you. So you don't have to pay for everything all at once. You just pay for it as you pick it up. I think I'm going to pick up the rest of the yarn because I want to plow through this, and I don't want to run out of yarn this weekend because the shop isn't open on Sundays, so I'm going to pay for the rest of the yarn. It wasn't that expensive. And the yarn, this is kind of exciting because Rauma has a new base, and it's called Feeble. And it's the same makeup as Finul and all the other Rauma yarns. It's 100% Norwegian wool. Only this is worsted, and it's actually really soft for 100% Norwegian wool. And because I've knit with Finul and knows how soft it gets after soaking, I have no problem. I know I'm going to have no problem wearing this if I need to, next to skin, because it gets really soft after soaking. So you can check my project page for all the colors I'm using. You can see 3 of the colors here, and there's a 4th color that I haven't picked up yet, and that's a lime green. I love Rauma's lime green. It's a beautiful green. So that's my Loon pullover. So that's what I'm going to be working on this weekend, I think. If it's getting, because of the AC, I'm actually capable of knitting worsted 100% wool, even though it's really warm in here now. So that's my second sweater whip. I have another sweater I'm knitting for the tea time mal. It's a sleeveless sweater that I'm knitting with the Tynn Line from Sandnes. But I haven't cast that on yet. I want to finish one of the sweaters I'm working on. We'll see. I think probably the Loon pullover is going to be finished first, because Sue's birthday isn't until June, so I have plenty of time to finish that, hopefully. But I have a plan. I have to finish it maybe mid-April at the latest, because normally mail from me to Canada takes 2 to 3 weeks max, but it can take 6 to 8 weeks if we're really unlucky, and I would like it to get there before her birthday, but maybe not too early, because that's going to be painful for Sue, knowing that that birthday box is hanging. And I can put some perishables in the box if I wait until May by sending it. So we'll see. I have until May 31st finishing that and the other one as well. I'm of course not entering my own make along, but I wanted to knit along with you this time. So I think that's my whips. I don't have any planned cast-ons apart from the sweater for the sleeveless sweater for the tea time mal. No other planned cast-ons, but when the Stone Knits book arrives, I'll probably have to cast on another Stone Knits pattern. We'll see. I have loads of socks on the needles already, so I'm going to finish these before I'm allowed to start another pair of socks. I'll try. If I sit down and just knit on these, I'll finish them in an evening. I know, because when I knit socks on 9-inch circulars, I'm really fast. So this should be finished in an evening. So that's the problem by me picking up the rest of the yarn today, because I won't be able to sit down and knit on those socks when I have the rest of the yarn for the pullover, because it's stranded color work far up the body, and I really love knitting stranded color work. And worsted on 4.5mm needles, speaking of which my gauge was way off, so I had to do some math, but that's not a problem. I just counted how many stitches I had for an inch, decided how many inches I wanted the sweater to be, and I just multiplied and got the stitch count for the around the body, and I knit the size that came closest to that number. And there actually was a size in the pattern that matched with my stitch count when I got the size I wanted. So I'm knitting the second size on this because I had more stitches to the inch. No, less stitches to the inch than the gauge asked for. And then I had to knit a smaller size. I never remember what... I know when I do the math how it's working up. When I don't have the numbers in front of me and I don't have the knitting in front of me, it's difficult to explain. But anyways, that was my knitting. And I'll go through my show and tell real quick. I have been dyeing a bit of yarn, but I'm going to show you what's arrived in the mail. I got some commercial sock yarn as well. Some Regia premium yak sock yarn, but I'll show you that as I'm knitting with it. I got my February from Darn Good Yarn, and this is me in a cake of yarn. It's neons and it's sparkly, and it's not a lot of yarn, it's only 75 yards, so I'm not sure what to use this for. Some of these I might put together and use in and stripe in something. I might also use it as a prize. We'll see. It's more or less just, it's for a good cause. So even though I maybe not use the yarn myself, I'll make sure it's being used by somebody. But I really want to do something with this because it's so me. But I'm going to keep these for the time being and see if I get something that matches, that I can put together and stripe for something. By the way, this is silk. So it hasn't got any give. So I can't use it for hats and stuff like that. But anyway, that's February's Darn Good Yarn. And I also got ordered something from Vikkevira. I've ordered yarn from her before, and I've also ordered this before. She calls it her Make Magic, a Lucky Dip sock minis, and we have a total of 50 grams in here. And I ordered these from time to time to use in my granny stripe to get a bit of variation. So this bag is going into my corner to corner granny stripe. So that's what I'm using that one for. And now I'm going to show you the rest of the mystery grab bag from Nora George. And I showed you the bag. The mystery grab bags she did because she's going to start dyeing yarn again, and she wanted to empty her stock. So she sold 400 grams of yarn plus an extra. And it got expensive at the end because I had to pay customs. Quite a lot of customs actually. But it was worth it. I wanted to support Tracy because I think I bought some of the first hand-dyed yarn I bought was from Tracy, from Nora George Yarns. And she was one of the first podcasters I watched on YouTube. So I wanted to support her. And I'm going to show you what I got. This is 200 grams in 20 gram minis, and it's her color shift project. And this is BFL sock. It's high twist. And I seem to remember what she did here was she started with, let's see if I can, this is the first one. And she added more and more of a different color for each. So it's sort of a gradient. And the last, let's see, number 10, where is number 10? This is number 10. That's the last one. And there's some greens at the end. And this is where I bumped the microphone, I know, sorry. It's sort of a circle, if you see what I mean. So I could use this for a cowl or something, but since it's a 200 gram bag, I should actually start with the number 10 at the top, so I can finish with the darkest color at the bottom. And that's not the darkest color either. This is the. I'll see. I'll lay them out and see what I think. But maybe I should start with those two, and finish with that one. So I sort of have green at the beginning and the end. Anyways, this is either becoming V-back tea, or maybe I can't remember the name of it right now. At the moment, it's asymmetrical, and I need several of them, but I can't remember what it's called. I'll put up a picture. So that's 200 grams of BFL sock that I'm using for a tee or a sleeveless something. So that's one of them. And then I got, and all of these are typical Nora George colors, and why I love Nora George's yarns. These are club colorways. Two of them are club colorways, 50 gram skeins. This is Changing Seasons, summer 2022. And this is June 2022, also Changing Seasons. And because I'm deep into the stole knits, and these are 50 gram skeins, they're perfect. And the last one is a full skein, and it's called Snowdrop. And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's got yellows and greens, and some of this might become prices, but I don't know yet, because I ordered a mystery grab bag late December, and she sent it out mid-January, and then February Royal Mail got hacked, cyber attacked, and they put a full stop to all international mail. And we don't know where my shipment from Nora George was at the time, but it hasn't reached me. And Tracy was really a sweetheart, and she sent me a replacement. And this is the replacement. And me and Tracy agreed that if the first one she sent in January for some reason reaches me, I'm going to use some of it for prizes. So there might be a Nora George prize in some make-along this year, in case it reaches me, the first mystery grab bag I bought. We'll see what happens. Who knows, I might add some Nora George to the prize bin anyway. I have quite a lot of Nora George yarns. And now one of the cats is lying on top of the box for my light, for my ring light. And they managed to find the sunspots in the living room. So typical cats, am I right? So that's what arrived in the mail, apart from the commercial sock yarn. I have more coming, I think. There might be more coming. But anyways, I did a bit of dyeing. Not a lot, and I'll talk a bit about that in life stuff. Because again, life has been crazy. I dyed up some pop rocks on merino sock. And this time the pop rocks looks like it's supposed to look. So I actually managed to make pop rocks this time. There's only 2 skeins of that. And instead of waiting until next update Sunday in 2 weeks, I decided to do a sort of a small update with there's only 3 different and 2 of them are the same colorway. And this, I know, is the wrong season for this, but this is Harvest Moon. I love this colorway. I wanted to dye up some Harvest Moon, so even though it's the wrong time of year, I dyed up some Harvest Moon. And it's all on non-superwash. This is my Highland Sport non-superwash. Try to focus on the yarn, please. No, doesn't want to. And this is my non-superwash Highland worsted. Both of these, you can of course order sweater quantities. I'm not sure you want to knit a worsted sweater in summer, but I have both of these undyed in stock for sweater quantities, if you want to. So that's what's going into the shop on Sunday, and that's it for show and tell. And I've only been going for half an hour, and I'm all out of knitting, and I'm starting to get hot. We're going out this evening. That's why I'm hardly wearing any makeup now, because I know I'm going straight in the shower after I finished recording, and I couldn't be bothered putting on a full face of makeup when I'm just going straight into the shower. And I'm putting on makeup later anyways, because we're going out to dinner tonight. So that's why I'm hardly wearing any makeup today. So then we can go into life stuff, and something I've been thinking about. That's not exactly life stuff, but I've been losing quite a few of subscribers lately, and I'm not sure if it's the Dungeons and Dragons episode that people think, okay, she's not doing stuff that interests me anymore, let's just unsubscribe. Your loss, because I won't be doing a lot of Dungeons and Dragons content. And it was clearly marked Dungeons and Dragons. So, but I decided to do something to maybe get my numbers up. I'm doing a giveaway when I reach 1,200 subscribers. That might not happen, ever. But I decided on doing a giveaway for my 1,200 subscribers. So, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It helps me a lot. I'm not making any money on this at all. So it has nothing to do with that, but it's sort of depressing going into my numbers on YouTube and seeing negative numbers on subscribers. So it would cheer me up no end to see some added subscribers instead of detracted subscribers. Somebody subscribing instead of unsubscribing. And then we're getting into life stuff. What's been crazy lately is a lot of appointments and some paperwork. Because as you know, I've been trying to get an income to help a bit financially. And I haven't been making money for the last 3 or 4 years because when I started my business, I had a plan that if I wasn't making money after 3 years, I would stop dyeing yarn and get a day job. Thing is, my health has had a decline these last few years. My osteoarthritis in my shoulders have gotten worse, and now I have gotten osteoarthritis in my thumbs as well, and I have mental health issues. So instead of getting a day job, I'm now getting I looked up the English word for this, and it's called labor assessment allowance. It sounds like it's sort of it's not welfare for disabilities, but it's sort of something in between. And I have to be active to get this, but hopefully they'll approve of my yarn business so I can combine the two, because I want to keep on dyeing yarn, but I need an income. So if I have to do something else instead of dyeing yarn, I'll just have to do that, but hopefully I can keep on dyeing yarn because I really love doing that. And as I said, I'm not selling enough yarn to make an income. And there can be some months I'm not selling any yarn at all. So goes without saying, if I'm going to make money, I have to do something else besides dyeing yarn. So it's been a lot lately, mentally as well, because it's sort of, I've sort of been feeling guilty for not making any money, and I have always had the problem feeling guilty about stuff, even stuff that's not my fault. So hopefully, if I'm approved for this allowance business, I might feel better mentally as well, because I'm going to contribute financially to the household. And I think that's going to do wonders for my mental health. It's also helping that I've started drawing again. That's also helping my mental health. Some days I don't feel like doing anything, but I can always get my sketch pad out and my pencils and do some drawing if I'm having a bad day. A pencil doesn't weigh much, so I can always lift a pencil. So that's sort of what's happening for life stuff. Easter is around the corner, and my youngest son is coming here for his Easter holiday. And I just realized that April 2nd, the Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves, is showing on the local cinema. So if he gets here on April 1st, which I hope he is, we can start his Easter holiday by going to the cinema. And we haven't been going to the cinema for ages. I think the last time we went to the cinema was before COVID hit. So we haven't been there for ages. So hopefully he gets here April 1st so we can go to the cinema together April 2nd. So I have to mention that to him when I talk to him on Sunday. That it would be really nice if he could get here by April 1st. So that's it for live stuff as well. And I know this is called the epilogue lady, but I can't think of anything else to talk about, so maybe the live stuff was the epilogue this time. So again, if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It really helps a lot. And the shop update is on Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European Standard Time. And that's it for now. I'll see you in 2 weeks, hopefully. And I hope you have a really nice weekend. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.